Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'd like to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Chapter 9 activities that I finished grading yesterday. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our next set of activities for Chapters 10 and 11 that are due early next week. And then I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the midterm exam that we have coming up next week as well. All right, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the Chapter 9 activities yesterday. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and look at your grades for those activities and let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on the Chapter 9 activities. So overall, most of you did very well, but there were a few of you who didn't seem to quite grasp some of the concepts covered on the assignment. So what I've done is I've created a Chapter 9 assignment review video, which is on the activities page. So if you go to the activities page and look at under week 8, which is what this week is in the semester, you'll see a Chapter 9 assignment review video. And even those of you that did well on the assignment and got everything correct, you would still probably find it beneficial to watch that video. Nothing else, just to kind of reinforce what you've already learned and make sure that you're ready for the midterm exam. All right. And a lot of the concepts that we covered in Chapter 9 are going to carry over into Chapters 10 and 11 when we talk about other market structures. I would highly recommend watching that video. Then after you watch the video, if you still have questions, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. All right. So like I said, overall, most of you did well on the Chapter 9 assignment, other than just those few that had some problems understanding some of the concepts. But hopefully that video will help you. So keep up the good work on the assignments. On the discussion that we had for Chapter 9, which dealt with the flower auction Holland, I thought that went very well. Hopefully you were able to kind of take what we've been learning about perfect competition, market structure, and apply it to that auction that we were talking about. A lot of the characteristics or features of perfect competition were presented in that case study. So hopefully that helped you to better understand kind of a real world scenario for those concepts that we've been learning about. Okay? All right. And I really appreciate everyone's participation on the discussion. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So keep up the good work on the discussions. On the Chapter 9 test, most of you did well on that, but just as a reminder, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date. Your highest grade is automatically recorded. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, what we've got coming up due next week, early next week, is Chapters 10 and 11 activities. So you've got the assignment, test, and discussion all due by Monday, March 9th. Which is Monday of next week. So you've got just a little under a week to be working on that set of activities. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about Chapters 10 and 11 just very quickly here. Chapter 10 is going to cover the monopoly market structure, which is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of market structure than what we talked about in Chapter 9 with perfect competition. So Chapter 9, we talked about perfect competition, which is on one end of the spectrum. Monopoly we'll talk about in Chapter 10, which is on the other end of the spectrum. And then there are some market structures kind of in between those two extreme cases called monopolistic competition and oligopoly. And those will be covered in Chapter 11. Okay? So these Chapters 9 through 11 that we are covered last week and going to be covering this week are basically types of market structures that firms operate in. And A firm needs to really understand the market structure that they're operating in order to be able to maximize profit and make informed decisions in order to ultimately maximize their profit, which is the ultimate objective for firms. Okay, that's what drives their decisions. All right, so be working on chapters 10 and 11. Don't wait until early next week to get started. Go ahead and be working on it this week. Also, make sure that you're using your own words when you're answering the assignment questions. I've noticed that some of you are relying way too much on AI and not enough actually reading the assigned resources and watching the videos that I posted. Some of you are just using AI, and that is not acceptable. You can use AI to learn more about the concepts, but you still need to put the information into your own words. Okay, so just be aware of that. And most of you are doing fine with that, but there are some of you that are relying just a little bit too much, or actually probably a lot too much, on AI. Okay, so just let me know if you have questions about that. And then the only other thing I need to remind you of today is the midterm exam that we've got coming up next week. It'll be available from March 10th through the 12th of next, which is Tuesday through Thursday of next week. So March 10th through 12th, it will cover all the chapters that we have covered this semester, which would be chapters 1 through 11. Okay. Now, I'll be sending out an email, a course mail, and post an announcement later this week that explains all the details about the midterm exam. So be looking for that. But that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime probably late next week. Thank you.